Welcome to our first episode of the blockchain podcast. Today we have a guest who wants to learn about the Ethereum blockchain. So let's see what they have to ask.
Hey, I have a friend who's invested a lot of money into Ethereum, and they're trying to convince me to do the same. But I don't really like investing into stuff that I don't know. Could you tell me a little bit more about it?
So when most people talk about Ethereum, they're actually referring to the coin Ether. People invest in Ether, not Ethereum. And Ethereum is just a network of smart contracts, which we'll get into later. And Ether is what fuels it. Think of Ether as like the gas and Ethereum as the car. These smart contracts are like digital agreements that execute like automatically based on real world data. So think of it as like, say you have a rent payment to make every month. A smart contract would be like, oh, every month I make a like $500 payment to my landlord. And these smart contracts are like kind of uploaded into this network, Ethereum network, and basically allows like manual interactions between two parties can now be like automated, and like the value can be moved in real time over the blockchain rather than settling like days later with like traditional banking. And with these smart contracts, developers can build decentralized apps. And they essentially use these smart contracts to perform like useful tasks, just like the rental payment I was talking about earlier. Running these decentralized apps on the Ethereum network also has extra security benefits. Since there's no central place where this like network is hosted, the transactions are distributed and encrypted like across the entire Ethereum network. And so it's hard for a hacker to kind of gain access because there's no one place to hack.
Well, my friend also told me that Bitcoin is obsolete, but Ethereum has a lot more potential. What's the difference between these two exactly?
Hey, great question. So the first difference involves leadership. In 2013, a 19-year-old named Vitalik Buterin introduced the Ethereum white paper, which proposed an open-source platform that would allow programmers to build blockchain applications. Bitcoin's creator still remains unknown. The second difference involves purpose. The purpose of Bitcoin was to be an alternative to regular money, while Ethereum was developed as a platform which facilitates peer-to-peer contracts and applications via its own currency, Ether. The coin Ether facilitates and monetizes the working of Ethereum to enable developers to build and run distributed applications.
So it seems like Ethereum does have a lot of potential. Why doesn't everyone just jump on board, and what are the risks of investing into Ether?
Well, currently the price of Ether is around $500. It was $1,300 just less than 3 months ago. Right now, the market cap is like around $50 billion. What gives it its value? Well, it's mainly just speculation, in my opinion. And then there's no regulation in the cryptocurrency market. So there are like groups called pump and dump groups who pump up the cryptocurrency and then dump it for profit. This is illegal. It's impossible to do in the stock market because of the SEC, but because cryptocurrency is unregulated, people can do whatever they want. And because cryptocurrency, the volume and value of it is much lower than stocks, it's much easier to manipulate and affect the price. So let's say we have one player with millions of dollars. They can affect the price of some random cryptocurrency easily. And there are also security issues regarding hackers and exchanges where most people store money of Ether or other cryptocurrency in general. There are cases where exchanges are hacked and people would lose all their money. This episode is produced by MJ Caulfield, Jackie Zhu, Micah Zhu, and Johnny Wong. This is it for this week's podcast. Join us next week when we discuss why it's a bad idea to take out a mortgage to invest in cryptocurrency.